My husband and I actually met contradancing in Louisville. And he actually proposed to me over dinner at Boone Tavern in Berea. I know. Now, I was 41 years old when I agreed to marry him, and at age 41, I felt quite capable of deciding who to marry and how to marry, but no one had told my family members this. My sister called. You need to order engraved invitations. I said, I don't think so. We're having potluck. My sister called back. You need to register at stores. I said, I don't think so. We've been living independently. We're trying to figure out what we need to get rid of because we're going to have duplicates of way too many things. She said, but people want to bring you gifts. I know. I said, they can bring food to the potluck. Our homemade invitations went out, and then one of my aunts called. I got your invitation, and about this potluck, when we bring a dish to the potluck, is that dish going to be your wedding present? I said, no. It's an ordinary potluck. You bring your food in the dish, you take your dish home. It's a potluck. My mother became absolutely obsessed with the idea of nuts and mints. There had to be nuts and mints at our wedding. And not just go buy a bag of mints at the store. Oh, no. What are the colors you're going to have in your wedding so that the mints can be special ordered in those colors? And finally I had to say, Mama, be in charge of the nuts and mints for the potluck. That can be your job. My brother called. Is Charles gonna shave his beard and cut his hair before the wedding? I said, I don't know. He said, well, what do you mean you don't know? Why don't you know? I said, well, because it's his head and his face. To which my brother said, well, what's that got to do with it? You're marrying him. If you tell him he's supposed to cut his hair and shave his beard, he'll have to cut his hair and shave his beard. And I thought, I'm marrying him. He's going to be my husband, not my property. My father called. Mary, he's not from around here. I said, I know, Daddy. And we don't know his people. I said, I know. His parents are dead, Daddy. I can't meet him either. His brothers live really far away. I'm not sure they're going to even make it to the wedding. Maybe I'll meet him someday. Maybe I won't. And then he said, and Mary, around here, men just don't make pies. My husband-to-be had committed the grievous error of showing up at a Hamilton family gathering with homemade apple pies. I'm not talking about store-bought pie crust, open the pan of fill. I'm talking about get out the rolling pin and the flour and make that crust and start with apples and peel them and season them and put them, homemade apple pies. Well, finally, the wedding day arrived. Everything went just fine. It was a wonderful potluck. We got married in January. And when that next Easter arrived, our telephone rang, and I answered, and it was my mother. And she said, oh, Mary, we're on our way into town with Easter baskets for grandkids, and we thought we'd stop by if it's okay with you and bring you your Easter gifts. And I said, okay. And I got off the phone and I said to Charles, that was my mom. She and Daddy are on their way in and they're going to bring us Easter gifts. And he said, Easter gifts? Are we supposed to have Easter gifts? I said, no, something's up. I just don't know what yet. And so my parents brought their Easter gifts. I had very long hair then, and they gave me a beautiful hair barrette. And they gave my husband a Louisville stoneware deep dish pie plate. I knew it was the closest my folks would ever be able to come to saying, you know what, Mary? You were right about him. Well, it has been over 25 years since that wedding, and my sister finally got to order engraved invitations when both of her daughters got married. My mother is now in the afterlife, and my father recently joined her there, and I'm sure my mom is making sure everybody has an adequate supply of nuts and mints. There still holds the idea that it is perfectly appropriate for people who do not inhabit a body to legislate what that body can do. Some people do not tend. My husband, right back there, still has his long hair and beard. He's still been wearing them. Well, I wear a considerable number of additional pounds from 25 plus years of fabulous homemade pie.